I had to stay alone all this, and I was just 8 years old, all
Wow.
by myself, 24 hours. I had to become very responsible, go to school, come home, open the door, feed myself, make the homework, and take care of the facility, and also clean and prepare that when mom comes, it should be very nice at home. So, and everybody was asking, are you not afraid to sleep over alone when you're just 8 years old? Are you not afraid of darkness? At that time, I said, now I'm not afraid.
Welcome to another episode of the Discipline and Legacy podcast. This is the first episode where we are coming to you with a mobile episode. Our amazing guest today, Val, is coming to us from Norway. Her and I have been following each other on social media here for a little while now. She's got an amazing story, amazing testimony. This killing it in all industries or all areas of her life. Model, PhD. I'll let you say the rest. Because it's just. But thank you for being on the show today. Thank you for being my first mobile podcast. This is going to be a new generation of the Discipline and Legacy podcast, and you get to be a part of the first one. So I'm super grateful for that.
First of all, thank you so much to you, Jonathan, and AJ also behind these things. I think it's very, very important to be grateful for all people who are actually participating in the magic what is actually happening. We are co-creating. So I think it's very, very important that you guys giving me this most precious commodity. It's your time. Really, it's in our really crazy speedy world now, we always in lack of time. But when we sit and we are fully present for deep conversation, what can be actually more important, even from the perspective of legacy, than that is how we can impact each other, right? So thank you so much. For me, actually, being the part of inaugurational voice. Oh my god, I already put some words on me. Or we were joking now.
We were joking
even before we put that button. But I said, you know what? Okay, maybe let's be authentic. Let's also put some joy and jokes. I said, you know what? Oh, I'm taking your virtual virginity or something, right?
Yes,
You said
virtual
yes.
virginity.
And actually, that's exactly, and that's why even you have this one, and that's why I put my very first time my new, so it's double virginity. Okay, anyway, thank you so much, Valeriya Yatsenko, or just Val. For people, yes, I'm in Norway now. I'm living between, I'm very proud Ukrainian, but I live between Paris and Norway. And today I'm in Norway. It's more nerdy part of my life when taking my PhD. But the most important, I think, to say about me is I'm lifetime learner and cultural explorer, but also I'm the person who is always very grateful, especially when, like I said, people give time to me to share my story and genuinely interested in my voice. So thank you, Jonathan, so much.
Yes, it's a pleasure. Definitely a pleasure. I'm excited to hear it. So, I mean, definitely, obviously, Discipline and Legacy podcast. We just want to hear testimony, hear your story, hear your journey, hear the Val story. So, kind of start us out, from, obviously you said you're from Ukraine. Kind of start us out from where your childhood, kind of what got you to where you are today, and what it is you got going on.
Yeah. And I love this question because I'm hosting also now award-winning podcast, Diversity is the Game Changer, where immediately I would like to use this opportunity to invite you to be part of my show, because of course I also would like to know your story and your testimonial and your childhood. And actually I'm always asking the same question on about my guests, because I do believe that the DNA of our childhood is so impactful on the adulthood mindset and the whole story, right? We are all kind of from our childhood, and we still have, and we are carrying inner child all our life. And we believe that actually everything what is happening in childhood stays there. But like in Las Vegas, everything what's happened in Las Vegas stays there. But no, childhood has long-lasting echoes. And actually, if you try to disconnect from that, it doesn't work like that. At one point anyway, you have to stop and connect back. But it's a huge job. It's also discipline to get the connection back to your inner child. And for me, it's also the very important, profound path on my way, because my childhood was very challenging. My father, he unfortunately had to fight his own demons, and he was addicted to alcohol, and he was very abusive towards me, physically as well. And I was the only child at that time, because later my mom, she has adopted another kid when she got divorced. And my parents got divorced, I was 7 years old. And before that, actually, I can really say that I didn't have any childhood at all. I had to become wise and grown up very, very early, because my mom, she had to provide. She used to work like 24 hours in the hotel business. And then I had to stay like all these 24 hours with my father, and it was very scary many times. And we didn't have the phone that I could communicate with somebody, so I was like a constant survival mode.
Wow.
Really, like, and I can say many things about my childhood, but what I could learn on my way, especially when I became like responsible, grown up, and parent myself, that we all have kind of story we came from. But when we are children, we don't have that much opportunity, actually, maybe to protect ourselves or to make any choices to escape this situation. We just had to survive, right?
Yeah.
But when we grown ups, we are conscious and responsible grown ups, that we have choice, even how to engage and rewire maybe our childhood and experience, because there are always two ways to look at everything. It's like through the pity party, self-pity,
Mm-hmm.
or actually take this victimhood way or victorhood. But then it's very hard job, right? And you can always try to kind of rewire this experience, because everything, actually, like a medal, is what has, you know two sides. And I tried since even I was a kid, probably already, to get some, of course, survival strategy, but also what this whole experience could teach me. And I'm so happy that I, at the same time, was a daughter of my mother, and she still is very close to me. She's my icon, and she gave me, like, she tried to maybe double give me what I couldn't get from my father, like care, time, attention, love, kindness. And she taught me from very, very young age, because we were very poor, very poor. I had to start working very early. And she told me that, Valeria, maybe we don't have enough of all this materialistic stuff, right? But actually, it can be taken very easily or earned hard, but again, taken easily. Like now we have war in my country. We lost
Mm-hmm.
everything just like that. One bomb, that's it, right? But what you actually are developing, growing, and how you evolve, I mean, like in your heart, your core values, your love, care, attention, compassion, nobody can take it from
Mm-hmm.
you, right? And actually, as much as you share and give, they're just grown. Actually, they have this special effect. And I remember I was a kid, and she told me there are two ways to live this life, and it's her testimonial, now it's mine, which I'm giving to my kids. By feeling your hands, you you can take by feeling your hands, right? And if you want to feel your heart, you should give. So if you're a
Yeah.
giver, you feel your heart. So try to, and she taught me, like, try always to be a giver. By that way, you can really feel your heart, not your hands. And that's why I start, like, maybe even when I was a kid, watch how she was behaving towards other people, and not putting that much maybe focus actually on, even at that time, that how how pity I felt to myself and victimhood, because actually I was surrounded by kids. We all the same, went to the same school, that they have pretty similar story. I made in Soviet. We used to live in this like block house, like with 9 entrances, right, and 9 floors, and everybody goes to the same school, and they know like each other's family and story, because we play in the same kind of, yeah,
Yeah.
facilities. And for me, of course, it was very challenging. I was bullied all the time because all the kids, they saw my father like unfortunately laying on the asphalt, very drunk or something, right? And everything that was on me at school. And you know, kids, they can be really mean sometimes. I had to fight, like really, literally fight
Hmm.
with girls and boys all the time at school because, you know, they were really like, I had to fight for me, and mostly actually for my mom, because they used to also, like, you know, insult me and my mother. So but again and again, now I can see it actually grew like resistance in me. And it planted the seeds how actually I would like to build my family, my life, that what kind of husband I would like to have, what kind of father I would like to find for my kids, right? So yeah, and I know I can continue on
Is
and
that
on,
is
and I
that
have
something
another
that
story.
like you thought of, like even as a child, like you were already thinking about like what kind of husband you wanted to have, and how you wanted to, because of your life when you were younger, like you wanted it to be better. So most kids are thinking about, like, they don't think about that. So I mean, that's impressive.
No, of course, when I was like just a kid, it was like I said, I wanted just to survive, and I really want to get freedom from my father. And actually, when everybody asks about the most happiest day in my child, I remember it's actually when finally he said that he found the place after divorce to move away from us, because it was so always scared to be around him. And then I started like breathing and living. Oh my God, thanks. And you know, though my mom, she continued to work 24 hours, and I had to stay alone all this, and I was just 8 years old, all
Wow.
by myself, like, you know, 24 hours. I had to become very responsible, like, you know, go to school, come home, open the door, like feed myself, make the homework, and take care of the facility, and also clean and prepare that when mom comes, it should be very nice at home. So, and everybody was asking, like, are you not afraid to sleep over alone when you're just 8 years old? Are you not afraid of darkness? At that time, I said, now I'm not afraid.
Yeah. So you were forced to grow up really fast.
Really, really fast. And then at that time, yes, probably to answer your question, I had to reflect quite early what kind of life I would like, first of all, for myself, and how I can also maybe help and really change also anybody's life for the better. And my mom, she not just planted the seeds, but she also gave an example. When I was 9 years old, my mom, she has adopted a kid. uh, though, like I've told you again, we didn't have much like materialistic stuff, but she told me that somebody, actually Valeria, has even less.
Yeah.
And at least she said, I have enough love, care, time, attention that I can share with another kid. And then you can also, you should share, because everything should be like equal, right? And she said, at least we have, like, you know, a plate of soup and everything, but some poor kids, they don't have absolutely anything.
So did you have to like, if your adopted brother or sister, did you have to take care of them as well while your mom worked?
You know, I was very happy and blessed because we were the same age, so actually we grew up like kind of twins, and it was fantastic because then at least I didn't have to sleep over and be completely alone, right? And since I was 9, and Yelena, my sister, she also was 9, so we grew up together. Then we could take care of each other, and we went to the same school, not the same classes, but then also we could, like, you know, protect and fight for each other
Yeah.
at school. So it was much better. And then my mom, she like, you know, not just talking about like helping or saving or doing, like, you know, um like good impact in life, but also she was the example of this act. And she kind of planted in my subconsciousness and consciousness, it's how life actually can be, but also should be. If you have the possibility to help further, you can always do that. You can choose this path. And I remember even when she said that, you girls, probably you'll be moving too early from them,
Hmm.
from home, and I'm still young because she gave birth to me. She was 20 years old, and I still have a lot of like time, care, and love, and everything. Do you think I will be sitting alone home? No, I will be adopting kid. Maybe not a baby because I will not be a young lady, but also again a kid. Like, why not? I can give more. So for me, it was like naturally. So that's why when I grew up, I said, how can I actually really also change this world for the better, to do something like really like concrete. And since I was, let's say, 13, 14, actually, I knew already that I would love, and I would be for sure adopting kids as well.
Wow.
Especially girls, because I didn't want them to have the destiny I had. And God, like, he knows always. Now I do believe in God very much. And this faith, especially when you exactly know what you want, kind of, he already put some signals and symbols on your path, right?
Yeah.
And he's helping you and he's leading you. So actually, when I went to gymnast, we didn't have money like to the public transportation, or I spared this money to buy something like nice for my sister or for my mom. So I had to walk like many like miles every day. But I passed by orphanage for babies with special needs. They were babies from 0 until 3, every single day, twice.
Wow.
Right? When I went to school and from school. And I always stopped there, and I saw this very like really like sad picture, because it was just after the Soviet Union exploded, and it was still like, um this facilities very gray, not colors, not toys. All the kids there were in the same clothes, like, very also gray. And it was like, I still remember this like picture. And it was just baby from, like I said, 0 to until 3, a lot of sick kids. And I was watching them, and I was like, oh my god, my heart was bleeding. And I said, I don't have much, but those kids, they have nothing, right? And I swear that one day I will be working so hard, studying so hard. I don't have much now, but one day I will be coming back to my native city. It's not Kiev, it's not capital, but it's small. It's Kherson, the southern part.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm coming back to this orphanage, and I will be helping. Like, I decided to establish some foundation, and also with money and everything. But I wanted to help. Like, I have 2 hands, 2 legs. I help and work there, and I decided I wanted to adopt kids from there, girls. So I had very clear plan, and actually
How old were you when you were thinking like this?
started probably at 13, 14, but then I was so sure already when I was 16 years old, because I passed this school like, what, come on, 5 times per week, 2 times. So at the age of 16, I already knew that I would love to adopt at least 2 girls, and I would love, I was speaking to God actually, to have twins. And I already invented the names. Can you imagine? I already had the names. And like,
Talk about
and it's so funny because
planning.
yes, yeah.
That's all. I mean, that's
But also I
amazing. That it's very inspirational that at such a young age, like most, especially I don't know, I guess maybe American. I guess when you're living at a different means, like you see things in a more pure way, because like most kids aren't thinking that way, and you started very young with a pure heart, so wanting to help others, and so that's definitely awesome.
And Jonathan, guess what? I have my Michelle and Nicole now, of
Yeah.
course. My twins. I did that. It was, of course, humble. It was not that easy at all. Like everything in our life, we know it's a lot of job. It's how you can be really tested, right?
Yeah.
But if you have resilience, discipline, yes, and all this perseverance, and and also faith, because I believe so much in God, and He knew exactly that I'm on a mission in this on this planet, because I'm never approaching anybody from judgmental approach, empathy, what I'm teaching also in my leadership method. But I know not every person can be actually adaptive parents. It's not for everybody, right?
Right.
But still, like people ask me like, wow, but why you didn't do that and that. I said, it's enough actually kids on the planet. It's not enough parents,
Wow. True.
Yeah, so I said that. And for me, I remember very clearly, I had conversation with one priest in Kiev. In the church I was visiting like every time when I was back in my country. And we had very nice conversation. And he asked me, Valeria, before the service, we should like held the service before I had to go to this orphanage again, and I established already organization which is called the Winds of Hope, and I was like holding the whole day with him because he was also supporting another organization and gave me some advices how to do it in the right way. And then he said, "What about you? What about kids?" I said, "Actually, now I'm." Starting the process to collect a lot of papers to adapt because it's a huge process, especially if you don't live in Ukraine. Oh my God, you have it's crazy. And then he said, let's then go to in caves and pray in a very special like ceremony that God can help you, that it will be like a little bit easier to do all that. And believe me or not, and then he asked me like, but only you inside, only your soul have already actually have all the answers. What actually, what kind, not what kind of baby, but who actually will be your baby? And I said, you know what? I am not concerned with that at all, because people, when they ask me, okay, if you're going to adopt, how are you going to choose the baby? I said, come on, it's not a car. It's not color, engine, how much liter, how many, but it's not like that. God, he has already decided on there. It's already written by him who is actually my baby, and he already knows. And it doesn't actually, it's not big change, or it's in belly, or it's not in my belly, because it should be in my heart, right? This is the most important. And then when this priest, he asked me like, Valeria, what actually is most important for you, to give a birth or to become a mother? And I'm like, what? He's like, you can give a birth to 10 times but never become a mother.
Wow.
Or you actually don't have to give a birth by your belly, but you can be the best mother on the earth, right? And he said, please come, go home before you given the answer tomorrow when we go and pray, like in this special case. But he said, it's not for me, it's for you, it's between you and God. And come tomorrow and then we pray together. So I came tomorrow. I came the next day and I said, Отец Langin, it's his name. I said, for me, the most important to become a mother, not to give a birth, because my father, he kind of biological father, but so what? When he left me, I was 7 years old. Since then, Jonathan, he has never called me.
Wow.
He never gave me one, like, okay, dollar, whatever, or ask me like, do you have anything to eat, or are you sick or something? So what, that he's my biological like father, right?
Yeah.
So I said, for me, the most important that I should become a mother, like, in my heart. And it's exactly what I explain to my kids. My kids, they know that they were not in my belly, but they were in my heart, and they're decided by God. Right?
Amen.
It's how I actually, when they became, I think, 9 years old, and they start questioning like, Mom, where is pictures where you were pregnant? Was it like painful for you to give a birth? Where are pictures, or was it painful to give a milk or something? And then I understood that I was sitting with them many hours and explaining that they're so special, they're chosen, because sometimes to be pregnant, it can be accidentally, blah blah, but you are so loved, you are so chosen, but you're chosen by God. And then also I gave them explanation. You can be 10 times like, pregnant, never become a mother.
Right.
Or like for them. And I said, and then like, but how did you find us? How did you choose? I said, no, it's God. It's not me. I just felt it immediately, but I knew that God, especially after this praying, I came to the priest and I said, you know what? I know what I want. We were praying, it was Saturday. I took train from capital, from Kiev to Kherson, to the city where actually I started working this orphanage. It was a Wednesday. I came to the group with babies from 0 to 1 year. And I saw one girl, she was 7 months. at the same day, it was priest there to put some holy water on them. And he came to me and he started like give special prayer. We were praying together and he put like so much water on me. I was almost in the shower. And then I opened my eyes. Yeah, it's true. And I put my, like, I start um, looking into the baby, which actually they gave me small baby which was looking like me, like dark hair, like, to give milk when I was with all this water. But another girl, I just like opened my eyes, like, oh, who is this? That's it. And they say, it's Anastasia. She will not be walking. She will not be talking, because blah blah blah. And I said, you know what? But this is my baby, and this baby now is Michelle, and she's 17 years old, and she's my daughter.
Wow. That's
So
amazing.
it's about faith, because I know you believe in God so much. Me
100%.
too.
Yeah. How did your faith walk start? Like, walk us through that. Like, how what because if did you I mean, obviously there's religion or whatever, but how did your like it come upon you, cuz everything else for you, it seems like from a young age you were matured very fast. So I think that for your faith maybe the same thing happened. But what was that point for you where you're like, you already kind of knew that God was taking care of you or putting you on this path and this journey? Because
Well, yeah, you know what? Um, it was evolving. Maybe it was not that much. I reflected probably when I was young, because in Soviet, actually, when I grew up, it was not allowed to talk so much about religion, because of communistic regime and everything. And actually, when I was a baby, I was baptized, right? But actually, it was against the law.
hmm,
It was not allowed. So yeah,
wow.
you could be in the prison, in jail, and it was really secret ceremony. I know that the young brother of my grandfather with his wife, they took me when I was couple of weeks, and they had to like really drive, to one rural village, and to do this ceremony that nobody actually should know about that, because otherwise you could be put in jail. It
Wow.
was not allowed at all. And I still have this special cross, like, it's already so many years. It's just very simple, of course. It even not silver, nothing, but this is the most precious jewelry I have, and I'm traveling around the world always with this one, actually, right?
Wow.
So because I do believe so much, it protects me. And So when I grew up, we didn't celebrate like Christmas or something. It was not like, it was like very big New Year Eve. But when Ukraine, dissolved from the Soviet Union, then we started actually to pick up our traditions from that time. And they start like encouraging us, actually, because Russian communism and all this regime, it was completely different. They always didn't like that. We had actually in Ukraine this old tradition, and we were all the time very Christian and very
Wow.
very religious nation, right? So we started just then, like, slowly a little bit to pick up this like Easter time or Christmas time. But actually, my very first like normal, I don't know, but big Christmas celebration, it was already when I was 25 years old. It was here in Norway, because it really was not.
Wow. But you were strong in your faith already, even though you weren't able to celebrate, even though you weren't able to practice this religion, you still had God in your heart and on your heart.
Yes, because my grandmother, she used to live in Russia, because I was born. My father is Ukrainian, my mom is Russian, right? She was very religious, and we had a lot of icons home and Bibles, and actually I inherited it from her. And she even ask us not to talk a lot about that, but we were like reading with her Bible every evening. We were praying with her, even we were kids. And actually, she was also kind of, I cannot say like shaman or something, but she was a healer, that people came to her also
Wow.
if it was some problems, and she was healing people with prayers, like, and I remembered all my childhood. So not my grandfather, but my grandmother, she was, and she grew up and she planted these seeds in us. And I loved it very much, actually. I didn't have this resistance even when I was a kid. And yes, that's why maybe I could not talk about that a lot, but subconsciously always I knew that now God, he actually knows. I was talking to 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 him by myself, like, and I put these prayers and wishes, and my mom and my grandmom, she always said that then he will be always with you and give this like small signals, and he will be like talking to you through this small, like, actions, even through the people you will be meeting, like, so sometimes you just really should pause and kind of reflect. So yes, I think so. It was like not like I could really celebrate so openly, but always I had this faith in me that we have this great creator. And also I was born the 4th of December in our Orthodox church. It's one of these big days. We celebrate like through the year we celebrate like 12 big days, and one of them is my birthday. It's when the mother of Jesus, Marie, she was taken to the church for the first time in her life. When we call it like entering the church, and we have like huge special ceremony and icon, and this is the day I was born. And my grandmother, she always thought that she is like special, my protector, like, so yeah.
That's
So
amazing.
that's how I'm still working with faith. And though I live now in Norway, and many unfortunately people here, especially teenagers, they're atheists, they don't have any faith. But I'm happy that I'm carrying very strongly, and actually also my kids, they're like, mixed, they're kind of hybrid between two cultures, right? Norwegian and Ukraine. But we have baptized them, and they believe in church and in Jesus, and we are talking a lot about this, and we go to church. And I'm very happy that I think from all the actually friends they have, they just them that actually uh, they do, they practice also their faith.
Right.
Yeah.
So you from a young age you've already become a mother. Whether it sounds like for your first time you became a mother, was it be an adopted mother?
Actually, I became like, I became, I don't know, I'm married into when I moved to Norway. I was 25 years old. My husband, he has already 3 kids. So I
Okay.
became a mother just like that and very quickly. And then I had to start, oh my God, like from day one to learn Norwegian and new culture and new traditions, and also being a mom. Because, yeah,
Yeah.
he used to travel a lot and work, and it was, yeah, now even now I'm reflecting like, oh my God, I was so courageous, so brave. How could I do that actually, right? But at the same time, yes, I became so wise and maybe responsible from very young age. But again, I do believe in destiny and God, that it was my mission, right?
Right.
Because actually when I met my husband for the very first time, it was first dinner. I said, actually, I told him, no, I would never actually have any um, dating with foreigners, because I have to go back to my city and I'm on a mission. I have to adopt 2 children, and you're already so busy. You already have 3 kids. So just forget about me, because maybe you don't have time for another kids.
Yeah.
It was like the very first half an hour. And then he's like, oh my God, maybe I met the right one, because he at that time he has already survived blood cancer. And actually he swore to God, and he was prayed so much before the bone marrow transplantation. Said, God, if you save my life, I'm swearing that I'm coming back, and I'm doing something really special in this life. I'm on a mission. And then when we met each other, he's like, oh my God, so maybe actually we have to be together, because he said, I swear to God, and he spared my life. And now I he said, I kept questioning what kind of mission, how I can not pay back, but how can I, yeah,
Give back.
keep my promises,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's how we actually journey, like, and that's why, maybe not why, I'm sure that's actually, it was destiny, and also God, he knew that, because it's very difficult to adopt if you're just alone,
Yeah.
especially if it's kids with special needs. And one of my kids, Michelle, she is neurodivergent like me, because her parents also unfortunately were addicted to drugs and alcohol. Yeah, so of course, and I wanted to raise up kids in the family which I didn't have, right, with loving father and
That's
mother.
all of our goal, right? Is to give better, do give our kids better than what we had, right? So, I can definitely identify with that. And my son, he would tell me, he's like, "Oh, Dad, I want to be like you," and I said, "Son, I want you to be better than me." you know, I mean, that's the goal, is to for him to, go above and beyond. Obviously, I had a rough start to my journey, a rough start to my life, and later on in life, I've done much better. But uh, I want him to be better, do better. Have high hopes for him.
No, no, it's never too late, absolutely. Because, it sounds like, oh, I have this story, I just wrote my wish and sent to God, everything was okay. No, but let's be honest. 2 years almost ago, I started my podcast, which I call Pishcast, because I started in my pajama. I started in mental institution.
Hmm.
I was for 4 weeks in mental institution. I was so sick because I have OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, and actually I call it and promote it now, obsessive compulsive superpower.
My wife has
Or
that.
my also goal, I have a next tattoo, because I have very special tattoos with meaning. And here one more, which is say, everything happens for the reason, Valeriya never give up. So I think next one will be like, we had the delicious, but mine will be OC delicious, I'm
OC
like trying to
delicious.
really break the stigma. But at that time, 2 years ago, oh my God, because it's about intrusive thoughts, and they are so intense sometimes, and it has happened just so much since the war came in Ukraine. And like very first 50 minutes, my mom, she called me like, Valeriya, we're under missiles, because it's exactly the city where the war started. It's the borderline.
Wow.
And they were like 6 weeks under, bombing, without connection. I couldn't reach out to them. So, and my kids, they all also, like, of course, they got this news from school, and they just, two of them from Ukraine, and they were kept asking Mama how is going with Grandma, Grandpa, and everything. And what could I, because nobody knew when it started. What's actually, everybody believed it just for a couple of days, but then all of a sudden 6 weeks. And of course, I had to take care of my kids here, and one of them, she started getting like a lot of panic attacks and anxiety, and I had no idea what was going on with my parents. And then they came here, they're refugee, they're still here, right? And they both of them actually have cancer, and they like it has been so much. But because I believe that I was so strong, and I have to carry all of them on my shoulders. And we teach from the plane, right, that you should put mask on yourself and then to everybody else. But are we actually doing that? Are you doing that? First, of course, you put mask on your kids and everybody you love, and then like, but you forgot about your, right? So that was me. Like 2 years, I was constantly like performing, and like doing everything for everybody. But one day, I like really woke up, and my OCD, anxiety, depression, like, wow, it was so huge that I understood now it's my time.
Hmm.
But it was kind of already late. It was not like, pre-time, that it was signals that, Valeriya, you have to take a rest. No. Whew. And then I understood I had to take responsible step to be again back harder and more, better, like again, daughter, mother, and wife, and everything. And I just drove to mental institutions that I need help.
Hmm.
I need to pause everything, and I need help, because I am not just not okay, I'm much worse than not okay. And I was there like uh approximately 4 weeks, and the week number 3 I was approached by one guy. He wanted interview. Now he's my best friend. I call him my podcast guru. He lives in Australia. We have never met each other, but we talk every single day since then.
Wow.
And we called each other like BFF. And he approached me because, like, oh, can I take interview for, I want to feature you on the cover of my magazine. And I have podcast, I have big show, one of the biggest in Australia, because I was in Cannes Festival on red carpet, right? And like, because of my model career, all of that. And then I was so boldly honest. I said, Alan, of course I can give brilliantly interview if you want me now in pyjama because I'm a mental institution, or you should wait and we do it when I'm back home. He was like, oh my god, and are you really like going, you want to answer if we're doing like that? I said, yes, why not? I'm not ashamed at all, and I actually consider it not a weakness but a very, very big strength.
Yeah.
Because if people believe it's actually so easy to stop everything what's going on in your daily life and drive to mental institution and apply for the help, try it. It's very, very difficult decision. First of all, to acknowledge to yourself that actually now you have to do that. It's really now I see to everybody. It's a strength actually, because there are a lot of shortcuts. You can drink, you can do that and that and that, but is it sustainable? Is it helping you long term? No, right? But to take this step, and of course I was like, it was very scary. Of course I was freaking out, of course, but I understood that I had to do it, because I understood that there are a lot of tools now, a lot of therapy, and it's okay to not be okay all the time, and to speak about that openly. There are so many um, possibilities to get help now and to find the community where you belong, because when you feel so bad, you feel that you're so lonely, you're so alone, you're double questioning yourself, you have so low self-worth, self-esteem, you're like, you're ashamed, you're like over masking, over hiding, over pleasing people, you're like, you're so low, right? But then you don't have to be, really, because sometimes to be open first to yourself and then to your family, friends, or even if you don't want, but people who's also in struggle, it helps. It really helps, even to put words and verbalize that. I said, you know what, I need help. I'm drowning. It's already better than just to keep all the time in yourself. So yes, we had this interview, really, I was in pyjama. He said it was his best interview ever. He is in this business like 10 years. It was more than, we would just sit and chat like 3 hours, like, about life and everything. And then he told me, Valeriya, you have this contagious energy. You have to open and start your show yourself and like giving the people, like, 3 months ago you were on red carpet Cannes Festival. Now you are in a mental institution, your pyjama, right? I said, okay, I'm okay with that, but I have to do it like technically, right? Like you now, to take studio, to set up studio and everything. He said me, I can teach you everything. I can help and set everything. Just if you want, I can be your mentor, or help with everything. So I started really there, really.
In this psychiatric hospital is where you started your podcast. That's amazing.
Yes.
But it sounds like too, like I think, this guy might have been somebody who might have been, sent by God, right? Somebody to help you get out of the comfort zone, express who you really are, be you. That's what happened to me. There was people in my life that came into my life that were like, yo, you got something here. Like, share it with the world. Like there's and sounds like that's what this guy was for you. So definitely could have been sent by an angel, gift, God, like you said. Now he's your best friend. So, I think God puts people in our lives, even if it's for a season, to help us to. But we have to be aware of it, and we have to act whenever those situations arise too.
Absolutely. And I was talking to him yesterday and today, and I said, Alan, you know what, my BF, oh my God, because I'm doing this gratitude meditation every morning, and it's my ritual, and also every night before I go to sleep, because I'm reflecting, like it's kind of my feedback for the day.
Yeah.
And he's definitely always in one of them, because like I said, that he really, like you said, one of those angels who came and through his appearance in my life, and his words and everything, he has changed my life first of all. And I'm so happy because never underestimate really who can hear us, right? And how we impact other people. And I'm so happy now I have like another best friend. She lives in US, and we call each other sisters, and we also speaking on daily basis. Now she has also her magazine, her podcast, and she has shared with me that my story was like inspirational flame for her to start her show on her podcast.
Wow.
Like, so I was like angel for her on her path. So it's how this ripple effect really, because now we unfortunately live in this very competitive world. And actually, statistic, Jonathan, how many podcasts do we have now in the world?
A lot. There's a lot of them now. I think everybody wants to start one, but they can't. It's the consistently of maintaining it is what folks have a hard time with.
And it's at least it's more than 4 millions.
Wow.
4 millions. Can you imagine? And then of course it's so overwhelming if you should like really, because people they ask me when I'm the show. Last time I was on now very 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 beautiful friend of mine, Catalina, magician, and she's like, Valeriya, do you have any advice if people really want to start their podcast? But now it's like, it's they can buy equipment, they can have the like brilliant idea and still procrastinating. Why? I said, it's true. If you like should think that okay, there are so many of them already there, and you start like checking up the stats and everything. So of course it's so early. You probably will be sitting and double guess and double question who actually will be my audience and why they actually should listen to me. But I think the most important we should remember, we all have unique voices, unique stories, right? And we should never underestimate how exactly your voice, your story can impact other lives, right? So it's one, just maybe you will be given like by God given these words towards, and this special person can be picking up, and it will be the right words he or she has to get today, right? To change something like a little. It's about this small ripple effects, butterfly effect, so I think it's so important just to start, just believe in yourself, that your story is unique, your voice is unique. It matters, absolutely matters. I think everybody in this world, they are experience high and low seasons, adversity, and then at the end of the day, how we can, about legacy, your podcast, right? It's actually, it doesn't have to be something really big. Legacy, it's about how we leave people after interacting with them, what kind of feelings we actually planting in them after just small talk, just asking how are you, just giving them a smile. It's so important that we now in this this world where everything is so kind of shallow and hollow, and scrolling, everything happens so fast without depth. People don't want really to invest in like quality relationship, it it should be like stop already. We have to go back more to the nature, more to the real connection, right? So if somebody listen to us now and they double question themselves, and they have very nice idea that, actually, should I start? No, of course, please start. You never know. Like, I had no idea, but you see, from Pishcast, from my pajama, and now people started their show and they thank me like almost every day. Like, thank you so much. You are my angel. You have changed my life. And of course, and it's what you're doing as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I do believe in your mission. And that's why I would like to know about your story when you will be in my show. I'm just dying to also to dive there.
Yeah. That's the important thing.
And actually, you know what? Also, it's so funny because this Pishcast won the award in its breakthrough podcast of the year in Los Angeles. They have a big film festival, the City of Angels.
Wow.
And I applied, it was like still, I just posted some stories, and in every single episode, actually, I'm sharing my story. It's not like I'm holding all the space, like, but I'm sharing where I started my journey, my podcast journey, actually, and what is true story behind this kind of, right? And then I applied, yes, and without actually, I'm not about like title, status and everything, because everything what I'm doing and sharing is actually really from my heart. And I was of course very surprised when I got this award. It's international huge festival. And then I shared the pre-story with now my good friend Lisa Crusader. She's CEO and founder of this festival, and she knows the story where the podcast started, like in pajama, in
Yeah.
Pishcast, and she was in my show. So actually, she's amazing, amazing, and it's still open. Actually, everybody can apply, to be participant in this. City of Angels. It's big festival
Yeah.
in December in Los Angeles, like 4 days. And if you want also to be, I don't know, to know more and invite her to the show, so I can with much pleasure, because we are friends now with
Yeah.
her as well.
For sure.
Connect you guys, and she has also amazing special story, I'm sure, and you. Yeah, it's how everything this ripple effect, because my jam is to really find people and connect them. I'm always about not competition, but actually service for God, for community, for other people, for completing each other. United we are stronger. We have enough of bridges and separations and wars in the world now. We have to build more bridges, not barriers.
That's powerful. You talked, just want to touch on this real quick. You talked about, you have kind of like a ritual of how you start your day and how you end your day every day. Talk about
Mhm.
that a little bit, because I think that kind of encompasses discipline, in my opinion, and just kind of walk folks through how that started for you and how that helps you.
Yes, thank you so much. Because yes, the subject actually discipline and legacy. Legacy we have touched a little bit already. That it's the most important. Um, how people feel about after interconnection with you. It don't have to be really something very big, but at the end of the day, maybe the names are fading, and actually places where we meet people, or some kind of, I don't know, even countries, but it's always this feeling in your gut inside, oh, with these people, this person actually made me feel that good, that this is a legacy. I want to, at least when people they are interaction with me, they can, oh, I know this girl, maybe I don't remember her name, but she was nice to me, like,
Right.
I think this is the most important. And but discipline and self discipline, I think it's very very important, because the self discipline, it's not about self, really like ownership or controlship, because everybody believes it, so it should be through pushing so hard, and you should be harsh with yourself. No, through self discipline you are actually building self trust, and it's so important, because in this world now, which is changing so fast, you have to have your anchor. You have to have your um, steady, I don't know, foundation, that no matter what, despite everything what's going on, you have something which you really can go back to. It's your core values. And then you have to build your muscle of self-discipline. It's like you are building muscles here by training every day. You cannot get them in one day, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's self-discipline. You build also your mental muscle. It's like confidence and awareness, deep consciousness, by practicing all the time, right? And the same about self-trust muscle. You have to practice every single day. That it don't have to be something really big or takes a lot of time, but like I said, I have like gratitude journal. But I know I have my rituals, which always can ground me and put me back even the chaos, like, and oh, this is my shelter, that nobody can take it from me,
Yeah.
especially now after the war, and everything is changing, like, it's so it escalates anxiety so enormous. But if you have something you can like return to ground, to embody, to breathe. And what I'm doing like many years now, especially after the work came, and especially after mental institution. So every morning I never start now like with checking the phone or all this immediately, like, noise and pressure from outside world, because our brain is already suffering. We have so much information, and it really, because of multitasking, we cannot focus anymore. And if we don't practice our focus muscle, we actually, it is the right path to mental issues, mental unbalance, and actually really anxiety and all this, everything so interconnected, right? So at least to stay focused and not multitasking. But now I'm doing that thing, right, for myself, and nobody can take it from me. Self trust, very important. But through discipline, like you said today, maybe you didn't want, and you can find thousand excuses not to go to the gym, right? And I can also find thousand excuses in the morning. Oh, should I again? But I'm doing my meditation always with gratitude. I'm writing, like, no matter what, I can also wake up in like not very good mood, or in Norway it's always cold. Even today we have snow, though it's May. So it's like you can always find something, like, which can really be like sad about. But you, despite all of that, you can always start your day already from why you can be grateful to the God. You still, you have breath, right? You woke up. It's already how many millions people they didn't woke up, didn't wake up, like, so I'm writing these three, at least three things that I'm grateful for. And actually, sometimes they can be really small things. They don't have to be big, but it's like you train your muscle to find any, in any kind of situation, something positive. Very important. It's life. It's actually, what I'm doing when I'm having my podcast. I'm always encouraging people that you don't have to really like be scared that it should be super professional, super like polished, super edited, because
Some people freak out. I don't get like super freaked out, but I mean, it's for you. I wanted to make sure that you have a professional.
yeah, yeah, no, and then I'm saying, like, just start. Even if it happens with everything. Yes, it can be technical problems. It can be. It's like life. Everything can changes, but it's actually, it's with what kind of attitude you're approaching that, right?
100%.
And you can always learn something.
I'm gonna learn that I'm gonna put the charger hooked up next time.
So gratitude meditation, like morning, evening, before I go to sleep. Also, not like, not them watching the phone or something. No, 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 because it's also, it's very bad stimuli for our brain. So for me, it's breathing, breath work, and kind of feedback. How even through the day, I can still be grateful for things that happen, though it happened a lot of not just positive, no, but how I can turn them maybe to learn something and to create them for the fuel for something positive anyway. It's not like I'm succeeding all the time, but I'm trying.
I do something very similar. So it's obviously prayer and meditation in the morning to start the day, and then it's almost not. I guess you could call it, being grateful in the evening, but it's more like an inventory of the day, right? Did I do
Yeah.
something wrong to somebody? Do I owe somebody an apology? Uh, what can I do differently in the situation that may have arose for that day? So, but that's being able to be better tomorrow than I was today. That's what I need to do on a daily basis because I'm only in competition with myself. There's not I want to be better than I was yesterday. There's not like there's you talk about being of service. I mean, that's what I want to be. I want to help people. I want to see people grow. I want to see people win. So it's how can I be better at that?
Exactly. It's the same for me, and at the end of the day, like, I think Einstein said that the greatest thief of joy, it's comparison. We don't have to be in this constantly. Then we already then have lost our battles if we have to compete with other people or other situations. That, oh, no, no, no. Especially in the era of this social media, which is also kind of fake. All this filtered, curated pictures, and everybody are so perfect, and perfectionism is, it's a really killer of authenticity. So, but it's very difficult, it's true, because when you see, like, it's very easy to get in this trap that everybody actually perform much better than you. But then then inventory is so important, like you said, like, come on, talk to yourself. Okay, okay, Am I choosing to go this trip? No, 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 no. What is my core value? What is my mission, vision in this life, right? How I can help this community, how I can help can be in service. Very important.
So talk about what you got going on now. We know you got the podcast going on. What else is going on with Val right now?
Thank you so much. I'm that close to defense of my PhD, which I'm working in ecosystem with Stanford. Actually, one part about neurodiversity management is how we can help and lead and manage people with neurodivergent traits, because it's still a lot of taboo, stigma, prejudice, and most communities and working environments, they are designed for neurotypical peoples. So I'm working on that, and by telling my story as well. So I hope defense will be soon. So the first book I'm co-author is coming on 2nd of June. It's called Permission to Flourish. And now I'm also um, very active in spreading awareness, but also teaching. I don't know, teaching, counseling other people how they can approach their neurodivergence, not from the lack of deficit of disability or disorder or something negative or in lack of, but actually how we can use these superpowers and traits, um, uh, to make this world for the better, because we are so creative, we think out of the box, and all the, like, society, all industrial revolution, everything were created by people who are thinking differently. It's true. Yeah, and still it's like that, right? But ironically enough, we don't fit in, and how we can actually bridge this gap. So this is my greatest passion through the podcast, and also PhD and my mentoring and course, which I has been built now with my co-founder and partner. She's coming and visiting me tomorrow from Berlin. Her name is Claire. She's also neurodivergent. She has ADHD, and we have created this course where we teaching people how really first they can go deeply on all type of levels: energy, reading patterns, nutrition, hormones, neuroscience, everything. What, like, kind of, you said, like inventory, right? And especially if you're neurodivergent, and then how you can build sustainable system through self-discipline again, how you can learn to self govern, self empower, ship and leadership, and by that you can be, a leader, not by ownership of these people, but by stewardship, because leadership is visibility and responsibility, and how you can impact other people first to actually teach how you can self empower and self lead in the sustainable way. So it's what I'm engaged now. Oh, it's so cool. We have reindeer, which is in the garden now. You know reindeer?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You can say a lot about Norway. It's cold, so, but reindeers, they are common every day. I love nature. We have to be more connected, way more
100%.
connected to the
Yeah.
nature. Nature has all answered, and always remember, guys, keep it simple. We over dramatic, like, we over complicate all the time everything. So yes, I'm trying to just live and be in integrity with my core values, and for me the most important, like integrity over applause, because I think it's very easy now with all the social media, like I already said, to get in this trap, like, to compete with other people, like be better than that, perform here bad, overperform, over mask, over please. It's constant and circle, which is little burning out. You should really stay with your values and be integrated. And for me, the most important, actually, I think, to wake up with the same core values, which I'm showing to my kids, because kids, they never copy what they say, they copy our behavior, right? Because you can say whatever you want, but if you don't like, if you preach one thing but you do another thing, they will be like immediately watching that and actually really repeat, yeah, they will be copying your behavior. So for me, very important to remember that the first impact, actually, I'm really projecting, it's actually the first row in the cinema, it's my kids and my family, and how they impact other people, right?
Yeah, I got a good one for
That's
you.
what I'm now. Hmm.
What do you do for fun?
Fun. Okay. Okay. I'm still a nerd. I love learning new things, but also I do a lot of stuff with my hands. I love cross stitching. Yeah, and I also making some pictures with pearls, like small pearls. Yes, and I'm running sometimes even a course where we have, like, this craft noon where we to like gather with girls, and we make something with our hands. Yeah, and bring some Ukrainian food because we live in Norway here, on in Paris, and I love karaoke. I love hiking very much. Go and hike with my dog. I'm culture explorer, so of course I love to travel, and I hope my biggest dream now to be able to go to free Ukraine soon to visit my friends and spending time with family. And I love hosting podcasts. I love
It's a
meeting new
passion,
people.
right?
It's a jam. It's a jam. It's my jam. Yes, like immediately. I think
What do you think you like about it so much?
treating every kind of interaction like I'm in this conversation, like both I'm teacher and student. Like, I can learn so much from other people. I can be so inspired, like, and it's true. I gain so much knowledge from people, and I can even like wake up in during the night, like, oh my god, this is so cool idea. I can also use that and that, and in that way, we can actually thank social media. I mean, and all the technical stuff that we can now, like you and me now, see it like across the ocean, right? And communicate. I think it's so beautiful, and then you can make friends in different countries and actually go and visit them, right? And like I said, now I have my best friend from Australia. Like, he's my angel. He has changed totally my life. What I think, it's no, it's a joy to meet people. And actually, I'm always very grateful to them that they say yes to participate, because now it's quite busy life for everybody. And then they have really deliberately not just find time, but make time to be present on my show. I know it's also commitment, right? So I'm always very grateful to people who actually really say yes and come and share their stories. What do you love about podcasting, actually?
It's a passion of mine. So like I just so how it started was just like hearing people's story. I mean, and then it turned
Yeah.
into like just meeting cool people, and then hearing their stories. So like it's developed into now I have this like Rolodex of like new friends that ultimately in no other situation or circumstance would we even come together and have a conversation other than a podcast. But now it's created this relationship that like I have 40 new friends from podcast episodes that I could text or call at any time and ask questions, and it's I think it's a new form of relationship building for me, and not only that but for the viewers, because they get to meet you, they get to see who you are, they get to and the
Mhm.
feedback that I receive is not so much for me but how I can impact the world, and like you said, leave that lasting impact, and just like 4 generations from now, my great great grandkids can go on YouTube and watch their grandpa, talk, like
Yeah.
speak, and like I look at the couple of videos that I have left of my father. My father is very important to me. He was, a big part of who I am, and he raised me. And I love my dad to death. We had a relationship that wasn't. It was unlike any of my brothers and sisters. We were very close, and I only have those couple of videos that I can look back and see him, and just like get to you know,
Mhm.
of course I dream about him, I have memories with him, but I think being able to leave video proof of yourself is important. It's important. That's part of the legacy, right? It's part of the impact that you can go back in 100 years and see something, and it'll still impact somebody 100 years from now.
Exactly. Wow. You see, even now, it's a golden gem. I really probably will be. writing a book like golden gem of all my podcast guests. Even now, this one, it's immediately will be put in my this, like, collection of golden gems, because I had never actually reflect this is so true. Even my grand can go, so wow, we have actually pretty hard grandmom.
Yeah.
She was like, yeah, wow, I didn't think like that.
So it's a double edged sword, right? I mean, yes, technology can be used for bad. Yes, social media can be distracting. It can be something bad. But if it's all about what you're feeding it, right? So what you like, what you're telling it that you
Mhm.
like, is what the algorithm is going to give you, right? And I truly believe that even God is involved in social media and what we see, uh, you know, in a weird way. Like he's still involved in it, right? So we're impacting the people who want to be impacted, because the people who are seeing what it is that the content that we're putting out, that's what they want to see. They want to be inspired. They want to hear stories of overcoming adversity. They want to see people's glow up stories and see that they were able to overcome something difficult in their life. Or they just want to hear, like someone like yourself. Like, you wouldn't go back and say like, oh wow, she had a crazy childhood growing up, because you see just a successful person that's doing amazing. And you took that story of having a difficult childhood and turned it into something amazing. And whereas some people, or most people, you could argue that they would take that and use it as an excuse to not be able to grow, right? To be stuck. It's important. It's important. I think everybody should tell their story, or a part of it. And that's my encouragement with my podcast, with what I like to leave on the street, is that talk about it to anybody that'll listen. Tell, you're going to help somebody. And even if it's one person, it's worth it. It's worth the pain. It's worth the suffering that you had to go through.
Absolutely, absolutely. Again and again when I am on my show, I also think like never underestimate, never, like one this message, one person, one email, one call can change totally somebody's like entire life, and then it's already more than we can ask about if we are here to be in service, right? It's so important that we have this opportunity to help to change, because when I needed help, then God sent me these angels to them to speak, right? That they changed my life and helped me out of that.
Yeah,
That's how it happened.
it's powerful.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
obviously you have a lot of legacy. You have a lot of impact that you're already leaving on the earth. So what is it? What else do you want to do? What else do you got up your sleeve with wanting to leave with the world? What are you wanting to leave with the world? What else?
This is very nice question. I just want to use the opportunity in this world. Probably yes, like my mom, she has shared the mantra of her life that by taking we can feel our hands, but by giving we can feel our hearts. So I just want to be example that actually this is so true, but I don't want to do it like, to walk my path, like to show off or to promote that look what I'm doing, like, even through my podcast and even Instagram and social media, I know, like, put like, oh my God, I had this childhood, and look at my story, and now I have adopted kids. You even didn't know I have adopted kids, right? Because there are two things: or you're doing something really for yourself, and actually, not really kind of for promotion or for theater or for advertisement, right? And it's like all this conversation you're having with God, right? So actually, they're just between you and Him. That nobody should even listen to that. So, but to stay, for me, like to stay really authentic to my core values, which my mom taught me and which I'm trying to teach my kids, and I hope that they can also then teach their kids. So I think it's one of the most important thing, but also about this neurodiversity, neurodivergence, which I'm displaying. I'm trying really to raise awareness and make impact that people, that we can globally change the narrative, because I'm trying to advocate that neurodiversity, it's not weakness, it's uniqueness. It's your cognitive and mental uniqueness, it's your beauty, it's your strength. But it's, of course, it should be adjusted, it should be managed, it should be more, um, supported by people who are not like, driven by, like I said, prejudice, taboo, stigma. It's a lot of stigma, a lot, especially in different countries, because different culture also treat mental awareness and mental health different, right? In some cultures, like uh, you know especially males, they suffer in silence because it's like really this macho culture, and they cannot share that actually I have mental challenges or something, right? In Ukraine it's a little bit better, but still for many men they really suffer in silence. And you know how many actually, because they have nobody to share with, they commit suicide. Actually, it's a huge rates now. It's a huge problem all over the world now, and we have to talk to people. We have to really, it should be called to action, that it's okay to share, to open. There are a lot of tools now, that platforms, communities, systems, um, foundations, that people need to talk more about it. It's really very, very important. So for me, every day I have this opportunity to help directly, or to teenagers, or to my kids, or to the parents when they reach out to me for the advices. So I think it's very important for me, part of my mission, part of not yeah, a legacy as well, maybe, but mostly that I know that, like, it's my lived story firsthand, and I really can share. I have not just slightly understanding, like I told you, I started where my podcast, right? So people, maybe they can be motivated and, like, get hope. But my maybe part of legacy to be hope spreader. You know, never too late. It's never something you should be really ashamed of. Yes, we all make mistakes. We all made different. Our brains are wired differently. So we have to remember that we are unique. We are on God's mission here on this earth, and and that's why actually we live in tribes. We have to be together. We have to make bridges, and we are here to ask help as well.
I agree, big time. Like I think for me, like even so, yesterday's gone and tomorrow's never promised, right? We only really have this moment or today. So uh, being intentional on a daily basis, on just like you said, being authentic, being your true self. You know, who am I really? I want to help people. I want to see people serve. So as I walk through my day on a daily basis, you know, impacting someone can just be simply opening the door for them. You know, that like you talked about it earlier with the butterfly effect, that can change, that can happen from that. You know, or you talk about like going to the coffee shop and you pay for the person's coffee behind you and they don't know it, and they get up to the table and they're like, oh,
Yeah.
that guy paid for you. Well, how many times does that continue? Now if 10 different people got free coffee that morning, somebody ends up paying for it. But you know, you've created a chain of goodness, kindness, and that spreads, and it'll
Mm-hmm.
never start if somebody doesn't start it, you know. So
Exactly.
somebody's got to be that light, somebody's got to be that guiding force or factor. And if God knows your heart, right? So he if you truly have that, then why not express it, you know? Get out of your comfort zone and do those things. um but that's kind of like my impact or legacy story of my own. And then,
Mm-hmm.
you know, getting to hear other people's stories, you know, and getting to hear what your thoughts are on it. And now that's going to be into the world. So awesome conversation, awesome conversation. So what else? Where can people find you?
Thank you so much. I do love direct interaction, and I'm always answering people. Really, it's also one of my jams. So you can find me on Instagram platform, Mrs. Wolfgang Genial or Valeriya Yatsenko. I have Valeriya Impact Global, my homepage. Also, I'm very active on LinkedIn, the same name, Valeriya Yatsenko. So please, if you have any question, feel more than welcome to reach out to me. I always appreciate that, because first of all, people, yes, they use also their time and attention, and I really appreciate it, and reach it with gratitude. And I that's why I would like, again and again, thank thank you and AJ for this amazing deep conversation, and I could learn from you. I could already kidnap some uh, gems of wisdom from you, Jonathan, for my gold gem for my book. But also, it's not enough. I will be hosting you on my show. I need more. I'm hungry for that.
We're gonna post all of your links. Make sure you send those to me. We're gonna post all of your links in the bio, so folks, you know where to find her. Go follow her. Go check her out. Go see the podcast. We're definitely gonna get me on her podcast as well. And and I'm super grateful once again to have had the opportunity to interview you and hear your story. And is there anything else that you'd like to leave with the folks at home?
More. Yes, just be more patient with each other. More patient and authentic, how we already said, because especially for neurodivergent people, they are so used to be overachievers, overpleasers, because we are hiding, masking all the time. Yes, and just remember that we are all different, and that it's not like somebody is better or worse. It's like, look at the nature, at biodiversity. Nature has all answers. That's why we love the ecosystem. It's how ecosystems thrive and survive, because of biodiversity. We have the same humanity. It's actually biodiversity of humanity, right? So be respectful. Approach everybody with empathy. Try to really think that how you actually even look at this person like this, like this, can really change, like you said, butterfly effects, ripple effect. Just stop one little stop, pause, breathe, like, and think that everything what you're doing, actually, we live in this big family, have has really direct impact on people.
100%. Well, I appreciate it once again. It's been an awesome conversation, guys. We're definitely gonna, go check out, go hit the subscribe button here. Go check her out. Hit the subscribe button for her. And thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Discipline and Legacy podcast.